This is old. I'm late to this discourse, but is being fat a choice?
You consider me obese?
I wouldn't say that you're obese,
Okay.
but it's like...
Huh? 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 We starting off with a lie already?
If you see me, you consider me obese?
I wouldn't say that you're obese.
What?
If you see me, you consider me obese?
I wouldn't say that you're obese,
Okay.
but it's like medically,
So,
you know.
So like for
So
example,
you're medically obese though?
No,
Yes.
Yes, you are.
I've been medically obese since I was like 12 and I was not obese.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean, chat?
Yes.
Hey, chat, stop being mean. We're just gonna call facts around here. Y'all don't need to be mean. Don't say the bitch is fat, okay?
I've been medically obese since I was like 12 and I was not obese.
Let's just take the quote. I've been medically obese since I was a kid, but I'm not obese. What does that mean? Oh, what does that even mean? Slay Queen! She's just big
Welcome back to Middle
boned.
Ground. I'm John. I host the Radical Empathy podcast, and I'll be moderating today's discussion between fit women and fat women. And a friendly reminder, if you
I don't like how he's calling them fat women. That's mean.
are writing a hate comment, you are part of the problem.
I agree, chat. No hate
Our
comments.
first prompt is, your physique is in your control. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Oh, sorry, I was taking a sip. What was the first question?
Hate comment, you are part of the problem. Our first prompt is, your physique is in your control. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Your physique is in your control.
She has a question.
I have a question. When you mean physique, can you specify? Like what exactly are you trying to?
I think physique is like the shape and size of your body. Why were you hesitating?
Because, you know, there's a lot of different illnesses around. So I have family members that have like thyroids and they can't gain weight or they can't lose weight. But I think that they can manage to stay at a place that's gonna be healthy for them. To me, personally, I do feel like I can be at a better place. I'm working on it, and that's my goal.
You know what? She could be nervous. Let's not be too mean. Maybe she's nervous, so she didn't know what physique meant. Can you define physique? Maybe she was just nervous.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that definitely people have ailments, there's different diseases and all that, but I think at the end of the day, what you can do, the best physical peak for your personal...
ESL, English is her second language. Dagon, thank you so much for the prime 28 months. Thank you.
body is in your hands. You may not look like someone you want to look like, your ideal situation, but you can optimize your body to be the highest performance that you think that you can get to.
Okay.
When I first started working out,
Okay, that sounds a reasonable take.
I lost 60 pounds, and that included just counting calories. I didn't have to work out as hard. I did the treadmill. I went at an incline, and I just walked the whole time, watching a movie and just walked. I just made healthier choices, and I've been mindful about what I put inside my body.
Like, you put in that effort, right? You made those conscious decisions to walk on the treadmill.
Does Elly think
count
dad
your
bods are
calories, you were
hot?
Super exact with everything.
I
and
like
that's
a
how
little
you were-
chunky
how
guy.
Both of you guys were able to lose so much weight, right?
Okay.
So your physique.
So to answer your question, I'm gonna elaborate, okay? I do like a chunkier dad bod. But if we're talking about a dad bod, a lot of you guys do what women do, which is they say, I'm thick, but no, they're not. They're fat. Same thing with some of you men. You say, I got a dad bod. No, you're fat. So, okay, I am into dad bods. Just want to, clearing up some confusion. Because some of you guys be like, oh, I just have a dad bod. No, you don't have a dad bod. You're fat. That's a huge difference. Show us a dad bod. Let me try to show you guys what a dad bod looks like. Okay, so this would be, I'm trying to see if there is like no nudity. You never know what you're gonna get, you know? This is a dad bod. Chris Pratt. This is a dad bod. A little bit of, a little definition, but still mostly fat. It's this is a dad bod. You could be a little bit over, or you could be a little bit under, but this is the general basis of a dad bod. Yeah. Ellie, just keep a screenshot of the AI boyfriend for earlier for reference. Yeah. So if you ask me, do I like dad bods? Yes, I could date somebody like Chris Pratt with a dad bod. Yes. A little over is okay as well. But there's a thing that women and men do, both of them guilty of it. A woman who is obese says, I'm just thick. No, you're not, you're fat. And a guy is like, oh, I just have a dad bod. No, you don't, you're fat. So there is a difference. You know, just in case we're on track.
Physique is 100% in your control. It's just that nobody wants to put the effort in.
Just so we can invite the disagreeers, that's a great point to bring in our disagreeers. Whoever wants to pick up where we just left
Which, by
off.
the way, if you're big,
So, well, of course,
I could
there are
still date you.
aspects
I
that
could
think
date a
you
fat
can
guy.
control
Just
about
saying.
your physique. I think there are more things that are out of your control. Like, it is so much more expensive to eat healthy than it is to eat like crap. If I go to the grocery store,
We're still in the same question, chat. Your physique, is your physique in your control?
and I just want to buy a bunch of frozen meals.
This lady thinks that no, that is out of your control.
That's going to be so much cheaper than me going and buying fresh produce and fresh fruit and everything.
I disagree.
I disagree too.
Why do you disagree?
The prepackaged foods, the frozen ones, way more expensive. I've been on a budget, eternally. I always save money by just going to the grocery store and buying ingredients.
I agree with you on that, but
That is true. That is so true, chat. We can't argue that. If you're buying your ingredients yourself and cooking at home, it's always going to be cheaper than what this lady is arguing with. Yeah.
I can go get a frozen meal sometimes for $1.50, $2, where if I want to cook a whole meal, like depending on what all the ingredients I'm getting, that could be $10.
So you'll get more.
Yes, but still, you have to think from people who have like no money and they're thinking like, oh,
That makes no sense.
can get
I've had no money. I've had $12 for a week's amount of food.
I hear both. I think that you definitely, in the short-term mindset, it is cheaper. You go to a fast food restaurant, they have like a dollar menu. I think they've even increased the dollar menu now. So, which is
$2
crazy.
menu.
It's like a $2 menu. So that's valid, I think, but I think it's killing us in the long term. Like, it's like that short dopamine effect, the dopamine where you're like, oh, I just need something right now.
Yeah.
I think that's...
I don't even think that is accurate either, though. I disagree with what she's saying. Short term is not cheaper. The only logic that you can get out of this conversation is that it's more convenient, more time efficient. It is more time efficient. It is more convenient to go to McDonald's to get something that's processed. It's faster, it's more convenient. But in terms of money and money concerns, no, even in the short term, it is way cheaper to go to the store. The only thing you're buying yourself is time if you go into a fast food restaurant. To go into a fast food place or getting some super processed, the only thing you're saving is time, not money. Not really. It's still cheaper to make in the short term to make your own meals.
the issue.
I also did want to, sorry, just touch on other than like food costs, like there's also privilege when it comes to like having time to cook stuff.
Definitely.
Like if
Time,
you work a
yes.
full-time job, if you have kids and stuff, a lot of the time it's just easier. You don't have the time and energy. Like I enjoy cooking, but it's a lot of work sometimes. And it's much easier for me to just like go through the drive-through. And then also privilege when it comes to like your mental health. When you are depressed, when you're struggling to even like get through the day, it can be really hard to have that motivation to eat well, to move your body and stuff.
Well,
So-
depression is a whole different subject. I do believe that, though. With depression, you really can lose sight of yourself, and it leads to this. And a lot of people would call BS on that because they've not been depressed themselves. So they can't really put themselves in a position where you can't even fathom what depression feels like. Depression is a crippling a situation where you can't just get out of. You can't just shake it off. So the depression, I give a point to her.
So for then when people are like, oh, well, why aren't you working out? It's like, dude, I can barely even get out of bed. So like, please stop with that.
I just wanted to say that I didn't step forward because I have PCOS and I just recently got diagnosed with it. So with PCOS,
What's PTOS?
it's so much more difficult for
Is that like a delivery service?
me to lose the weight and control what I want my physique to look like. It's just so much harder. It's not impossible, but it is.
We can fix it.
It's something
and we
that
can
can
fix
be
it.
fixed.
PCOS, we can fix
Sorry
it.
to cut y'all off, but Bree, I just wanted to hear from you.
The question,
Patent and Trademark Office Society.
like, your body is in your control. I just think it is not 100%
Post-traumatic obese sensitivity? What?
control. To say it's like black and white, you can change it or you can't. It's just
PCOS?
crazy. It's just so nuanced. I really like appreciated you bringing up the food access that you have, the knowledge access, your socioeconomic status. I go to the gym, I sit there, and I'm like, if only everyone had access and the free time to do this. I'm sure so many other people would love to do that, but people are struggling. They need to pay their rent. They can't just allot that time. They need to prioritize. And I think that's ultimately what is really sad. Everyone would love to take care of themselves.
I disagree. I'm sorry, I disagree.
What?
They need to pay their rent. They can't just allot that. Other people would love to do that, but people are struggling. They need to pay their rent. They can't just allot that time. They need to prioritize.
It's more expensive to be fat, though.
And I think that's ultimately what is really sad. Everyone would love to take care of themselves.
I'm sorry, I disagree. Like, there's some of us who are on the fit side that don't have that privileges. I wake up at 4 a.m., have a full-time job. I get it done. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Hello,
I
albino
want to be
hobo.
the highest version of myself, the most evolved version, and she has to show up.
But your life allows it.
No,
Your
I make my
lifestyle-
life
No,
allow
exactly.
it. I
You
surround
do.
Hello,
myself.
Naranch says look up. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Oh, I don't know what that is. That sounds bad. I think that's a vicious cycle. You eat bad food because you're depressed. Then you get fat because you're eating bad food, and then you get depressed because you are fat. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of depression works like that. It's kind of like that. Sorry, chat, that I keep pausing the video a lot. It's kind of the thing that I tell my chat often about video game addiction. You get in a bad habit of locking yourself up in your gaming room and gaming for hours because you're trying to avoid real life and the stress of real life. You need to get shit done in your real life, and you play a video game to kind of put a little band-aid on it, and a band-aid is not going to cover up a wound, a gunshot wound. You need to kind of face it head on. And so sometimes as a gamer and gamer addiction, you get in this vicious cycle of I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years. And then you're in a situation where you're like Asmongold, and I'm sorry to bring him up, but everybody knows Asmongold. Then you start letting your teeth rot, right? You stop going to the doctor, you're losing a tooth, and then you're less attractive, and then it keeps you in your room because you're less attractive. Now you don't want to leave to do real stuff because then you have low self-esteem issues. You don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, because then you get caught up in this depression. And it's a really bad cycle, but that's what happens, you know. It's really bad, but depression is bad, and video games is one of those vices that kind of doesn't help, you know, video gaming. But yeah, that's a whole different subject. Asman does brush his teeth though, but he doesn't go to the dentist. You know, so the fact that he lost teeth and stuff is because he didn't go to the dentist. And the fact that he then felt self-conscious of his teeth is because he neglected that side. So in case he does brush his teeth, he could have still done something to prevent that.
People don't
Yeah. And the dopamine you get from eating bad food doesn't help. That's true. I bet his new teeth is way better. I don't even think he put in a new tooth. I don't think he has teeth. I'm not sure though.
have the possibilities that you have.
They just
Not everyone, no.
And I also think there's
You
something
need
to be
from
said.
different
Put the effort
places.
in. That's it.
But I also think too, like let's say for example, you're a teenager and you're like 500 pounds.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
work
Yeah.
that you need to do to remedy that is ungodly. Like that's
If you're a teenager and you're 500 pounds, we need to stop putting parents behind bars. A kid cannot feed themselves. That is strictly a parent's problem. And we need to start putting parents behind bars. Because if you're a teenager, you're a young adult, and you're growing up and you're obese, that's your parents' fault.
That's really challenging. That's a hard
agree.
thing to do for
I
anybody,
agree.
as opposed to
I
like
think-
me.
yeah,
was
I think
really
he's only
skinny,
missing
and then
one
I
tooth.
decided,
It's
oh,
on
I'm
the
gonna put on my weight.
right,
The results
top
are
right,
showing.
in the back.
It looks like I'm working super hard. I make these choices like go
Yeah.
girl.
Right.
But that is not the same accessibility that someone can make that change for themselves in different circumstances.
I agree.
So
My
think
only
that is, like,
caveat is it's hard for both, but it can be done.
Now, eight-year-olds make way more ramen and microwave foods. What are they doing? They have a parent, though. Why is the parent buying them ramen and microwavable foods? You're the parent. You should keep tabs on your child. A kid is not going to the grocery store to buy that.
And is my point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
That's
say
my
that it's
only
as hard
point.
for me as someone who's overweight trying to lose that weight. In my opinion.
But do you believe that it can be done?
I believe it can be done. I believe
Okay,
it can
so
be
we
done. But I
agree.
think empathy and compassion for the different circumstances that may stop someone from doing that is necessary. To see like, oh, get off your ass and like do all this.
No one said
which you're
that.
not saying, but I'm saying some people, commenters,
Myron's
might be
not in
saying
this
that.
episode.
Myra was the word.
There is a spectrum for your body.
Autism
Our
mentioned.
height isn't under our control. Our fat distribution, our bone density, our muscle density, our metabolism.
Yes,
These are all things that make up who we are.
Yeah.
But in that spectrum of health, absolutely, we can change who we are
Yes.
with what we got, right?
And then we'll stop right there and move on to the next one.
Next topic.
Body positivity can promote unhealthy habits. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Ooh, body positivity can promote unhealthy habits. How do we feel about that? I'm a little bit torn on this one. I mean, yes, it can. I mean, yes, it does. Body positivity can promote unhealthy habit. Yes, there's no debate about that. But is it the person's fault? So, like, say that I am content and happy with my body, and I am like 300 pounds. Say I'm content and I'm happy about my body, and I'm positive about my body. Should I be responsible for Jimmy across the street being fat because I'm fat? And because I'm happy about my fatness? Am I really responsible for somebody else's health journey? Let me see my chat. Let me scroll up and read some things. There's truth in that statement. No, this is absolutely true. Body positivity, it can promote unhealthy habits. True. But what I'm challenging right here is it a bad thing though? Because me being positively happy about my own self and my own fatness, I shouldn't be held responsible for somebody else's fatness. I personally think that social media should only be available later in life, as there are more accurately anti-social media when it comes to young people. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, we had this discussion not too long ago that I said I love China. China has actual anti-internet laws for underage kids. Or, yeah, something like that. You understand. It's not good for kids, but adults shouldn't be stupid enough to follow along with it. Dishonest body positivity can. If the question was, is body positivity promoting unhealthy habits, then the answer was different. So Peachy Rena says polycystic ovarian syndrome is when there are polyps or bumps on your ovaries, and it isn't an uncommon cancerous. Oh. You're not happy about your fatness. You're just lying to yourself. That's not necessarily true either. So like, that's not true either. You could totally be content and happy with your fatness though. You could be fat and still enjoy yourself. Education about it matters too. Not only does China have laws, but you also get the added info, maybe propaganda, as to why social media can be trash. Yeah, I mean, people shit on China, chat, but China's got some good shit happening over there. I'm just saying. They don't let kids on the internet for far too long. There's a curfew for kids being on the internet, and there's an age restriction. I don't know, man. China kind of sounded nice. My grandma was pretty fat, not obese, and she was the happiest person. You can totally be fat and be happy, and you can also visually be a bigger person, but still be meeting all your checkups with your doctor and passing the adequate health scores or whatever that is. You could be visually like appearing fatter but still be healthier inside. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but appearance wise, there are people that look fat, but if they go to the doctor tells them they have the lifespan and the health of a fucking skinny person. It depends on person to person. So what I'm trying to say is that you could look fat and still be happy and healthy. Now, this is obviously for somebody on the thicker side, but if you're obese, I doubt that this is the case for you. Clinically, like morbidly obese is what I'm saying. Morbidly obese, that's a different thing. Shut up, Toho. Hello, phobes. Look at the shot of putters. They're huge but incredibly fit. Yeah, everyone is responsible for their own bodies, period. Just understand that where am I? Understand that everything has consequences. Just understand that. This sounds like a whole lot of cope, not gonna lie. No, I'm just trying to approach this reasonably. And it's not cope. That is actually backed by medical professionals. You can be visually bigger of a person, but still be healthy. That's not a cope. That is backed by actual fucking medical professionals. So 6foot says, yeah, I'm fat, but my organs haven't gotten any of the fat on them, so I'm good. I mean, it could be just a matter of time, though. It doesn't mean that you're always going to stay at that point. especially when you start reaching your 30s. When you start reaching your 30s, that's when your health complications really start to shine. You start losing muscle. You start what is that thing, chat? That goes fast? Metabolism slows down. Your metabolism slows down as you get older. You start losing muscle around you're 30 years old. You are more prone to getting like diabetes because of your muscle fatigue. And how you process different things. But that's a whole bigger subject. But let's continue watching this.
I think blind body positivity can be harmful if it's just like always like, don't ever consider any possibility that you could change something or improve your quality of life. Just blindly accept yourself. I think that's where it can get kind of toxic.
I don't look like how I looked when I was 20. So body positivity is encouraging yourself to accept you're gonna transform eventually. When you're 40, when you're 50, you're gonna get wrinkles, you know, all these things. So yeah, definitely body positivity should have taken another route instead of just saying it's for bigger people, because it's not. It's for all the variety of people that need to accept you're changing.
Yeah, I think the pendulum has switched to the furthest extreme. I think body positivity was created because there wasn't a space for people who could have acceptance in bigger bodies. And I think it's just gone to the furthest extreme now. And
like, women come in all shapes and sizes, right? And every woman is beautiful. And I think...
Disagree. Not every woman's beautiful.
That you should really be confident in your body and the way that you look, you know, wake up feeling your best. But I feel like especially on social media and in society today, this body positivity movement, I've seen like multiple times where there's like obese women promoting body positivity, and it's like, I wouldn't want like my
What's
kid.
obese for you?
Like an unhealthy
Oh,
lifestyle.
here comes the hot take, chat. What is obese for you?
No,
No, but like, what do you mean
What's
obese?
obese for you?
Chat, I don't even know what that means. What is obese for you? Obesity is not subjective. Obesity is objective.
Obese, like
For
medically
me,
obese.
if you see me, you
What's a
consider me
range?
obese?
I wouldn't say that you're obese, but
Okay.
it's like medically,
So-
you know.
I wouldn't say that you're obese. Girl, why are you backtracking? She is obese.
So like for
So
example,
you're medically obese though? Yes.
I've been medically obese since I was like 12 and I was not obese.
Well, does anybody
So
would anybody here explain what they mean by medically obese? Just-
Exactly.
Like
At like when you go to the doctor's office and you get weight on a scale and they'll tell you, oh, you're a little bit overweight, or they'll say you're morbidly obese, you're obese, you're
Because of your
whatever
height,
these things. So like,
everything.
like if you look at me, you would be like, oh, she's a little plus size, but I am technically considered obese.
So
by my doctors.
And I was obese at, I think it's 30 BMI. Now the BMI, have come to learn that it's a little bit tricky now.
right, it's not the most accurate.
Right.
But that's what it's based off.
Yeah.
But
Right.
so correct. But
mass
now that when I was a size 14, I was considered obese. It's smaller than we think.
I think an obese person.
Yeah,
and this is not,
the obese scale is a lot smaller than people think, chat. Being medically obese, some of you guys think that you're not, but the bar is really low for medically obese. That's why I'm saying, like, by looking at these women who are visibly fat, they're obese.
you know, calling absolutely anybody obese. But I think a person that can be considered obese will not be able to go on walks. They will lose their breath.
No, what she's confusing is morbidly obese. And nobody's talking about morbidly obese. We're talking about obesity. She is obese. She is not morbidly obese, but she's obese. Is overweight the same as obese? If you are overweight, you're probably obese. You probably classify as obese, yes. Yeah, see, there's tiers to obesity. She is probably category 2 Tier 2 obesity. But she thinks when people say the word obese, she's thinking about a tier 5 obesity. But no. You're obese as soon as you enter the obesity scale, which is a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, or tier 5. Tier 5 being the worst. She thinks when people call her obese, they're referring to her as a tier 5, category tier 5. And she's not morbidly obese. She can probably run for 5 seconds before she gets tired. So she's out of shape. She's not morbidly obese, right? But she's confusing the language. That's what she's doing. If you can wear a bra as a guy, likely you're a tier 3 obese. Yes, probably. This is morbidly obese. I would, if there's 5 tiers to obesity, by the way, I'm not a doctor, okay? So I might be really wrong. But if there's 5 tiers to obesity, I would probably say that she's tier 3. Tier 3 going on tier 4. Tier 5 being bedbound, basically. Tier 5 obesity being someone who is bedbound. I mean, we can't judge based on the video alone.
They were, for me, because I am a person that I'm big, but I'm, like I said, I'm still able to go on hikes and I won't lose my breath. I can go on runs, I can exercise.
Girl, she said she could go on hikes and not lose her breath?
Like I said, I'm still able to go on hikes and I won't lose my breath.
Huh? No, girl, bye.
I can go on runs.
Girl, I'm more likely to believe that Santa Claus is alive.
I can exercise. So if for the doctors, I'm obese because of the size and the stuff that I am.
Hello, Nusi.
Yes.
If she walks 1 mile per hour.
Because an obese person, I've had friends who are skinnier than me. We go on walks and they're losing their breath.
So for you, obesity is...
Well, that is true though. I am skinny and I definitely lose my fucking breath more than a fat person. I am out of shape 100%. I could not hike. I'm telling you right now, chat. I could not hike. That would kill me. So you could definitely be out of shape and still be skinny.
Just the health parameter of how physical you can be for you. It's not a physical manifestation of the body.
What the doctor, when that doctor says that bad word, he's looking on a chart versus saying you can't.
How many people have been bad diagnosed?
But listen, he's not saying you're ill and you can't walk up that hill.
I've had doctors say that to me.
You go, I have
That's
that.
I've had doctors
I'm
say that
obese
to
and I
me.
can still walk up that hill. And that's what's fabulous about it, right? It doesn't automatically mean you're ill, but also down the road, absolutely it's going to mean you're ill. You're lucky with your genetics currently.
Damn, let her know this girl is dropping some bombs. What does she have up her, a loaf on her head anyways? What is that, a croissant?
Down the road, it's not going to be the same story.
But this is the thing, you think they're genetics, but since I was really young, I'm active. I'm an active woman.
I never said you're not active.
No, I
Do you
know.
think she purposefully wore this hairstyle to antagonize the fat people here?
But I'm just
That looks like a
responding to what you're
butter
saying.
roll.
I know you're not saying that I'm not active. I'm responding to what you're saying about the doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I have had doctors tell me that.
Tell you what?
That I'm obese and that I
Yes.
cannot exercise. That why am I not exercising? Why am I not doing the?
Yeah, I think my homegirl right here on the right is on something. I don't think she's a very bright lady.
Effort. There's doctors that have bad diagnosed me for things that I've never had, and I've gotten medicated for things that I've never had. So it's like,
Right. Well,
it's everybody. It's different.
They're killing us too. So.
Just we went down a tangent
Yeah.
for a minute. I wanna-
Happy Pride
we're
Month,
talking about-
lazy!
We're talking about body positivity, whether
Yes.
we think it promotes unhealthy habits. We're going to bring in our disagreeer.
Oh my God.
And then continue the combo.
Yeah.
So I didn't step forward because
Wait, she's the only one that disagrees, chat. She thinks that it does not promote bad habits.
I really hate the toxicity that has come from people being like, oh, body positivity promotes obesity and blah, blah, blah. I hate that so much. I think there is like the minutest people who are doing that. The vast, vast majority, I do not think promote obesity. Body positivity, to me, is just loving your body, accepting your body how it is, and not hating yourself. Like, you shouldn't have to wake up every day because you're 400 pounds and hate yourself. Like, you know, I don't think anybody should be hating themselves. So that, to me, is what body positivity is about. And it's also about equality in how people are treated. Like, for example, Lizzo gets called out so much on like, oh my God, she's out there with her ass and stuff. Like, ugh, it's so disgusting. But Chapel Roan, who, God, I love Chapel Roan, was at Gov Ball and came out as Statue of Liberty and had her ass out, did not see a single person online saying, oh, so why does she have her ass out? You know, it's like, it's a double.
I mean,
standard. People inherently hate fat.
I mean, but that's always been the thing, though. And it doesn't matter. It's not a weight thing. It's a beauty versus ugly thing. Life has always been that, though. Not saying that it's right, but like, pretty is privilege. And if you're, okay, let's say we have two skinny celebrities in front of us showing their asses, but there's one that is obviously prettier looks wise. More people are going to gravitate for her because she's just prettier. I hope that I'm making myself clear. I don't think it has. I think that's just society. Pretty privilege. And fat isn't pretty. That's not to say that everybody who's fat is ugly, but we're also not going to pretend like that is the most attractive body type, because it is not for most people. Now, whether it's right or wrong, that's a whole different subject, but fat is not generally looked as pretty. And that's always been the way it's always been.
Fat bodies and don't think they should be seen in society.
I actually disagree
Same, Harley
with that
Quinn.
because I do see people hating on Chapel Rowan for the way that she looks and her outfits, and there's going to be hate on both sides.
Oh, of course, there's
That
going to be
is
hate, but
totally
I meant like the volume of hate that Lizzo gets compared to Chapel Rowan. Like, I would say, like, it's much smaller. Like, you constantly hear about like Lizzo, and you know.
So she's saying that Lizzo gets a lot of hate. Lizzo is a rapper who is all about body positivity. And Chaperone is a skinnier girl with her ass out. Lizzo, look, I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of privileges in this world, and Chappelle Ronan, whatever her name is, she fits a lot of these privileges. She's pretty. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. I never heard anything positive about Lizzo. At the same weight, Chapel would still mog Lisa. Yeah. That's her brand, to be negative. Lesbian privilege. I think both of them are lesbian, though, right? I think Lizzo is also lesbian. The red dress girl is still overweight too, but she isn't a blob.
I have a question.
Isn't Lizzo a dude? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Lizzo. Okay,
Always comes back to Lizzo.
One of the few. Okay.
She's lost weight too.
I know.
She's lost a lot of weight right now.
One of the few times I saw her streaming, she had this gorgeous cake was gifted to her, enormous. Went in with it with a fork and was eating constantly and talking to the camera while she was streaming. The volume of the cake that she ate, I just went, oh my God, how many people are watching this? This is absolutely, it was a horrible representation. I hated every moment of it. What do you have to say about that?
Well, my question would be, if there was a thin person doing that, would you have had that same
Yes.
reaction?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think it's more about, like, she's not promoting obesity by eating cake on camera. She's just, eating cake
But
on
if
camera.
she's the representation of body positivity and she's behaving this way, is that promoting
Have
a
you
negative
noticed
light?
that she just posted a video that she lost weight? Like,
No.
But we're not talking about that though. We're talking about the fucking eating cake thing. Why are you moving the goalpost?
Oh, absolutely don't. I
She just
absolutely
posted
not.
a video.
I
She
absolutely
lost
did not.
weight. You can see the difference.
Because I don't want her in my algorithm.
So it was just probably that one day that you saw her doing that, but that doesn't identify her as a whole person.
Yeah, in defense of Lizzo, not a sentence I want to repeat. In defense of her, I have seen her post like, oh, here's a green smoothie that I got, or here's me with my salad, or like, here I am at the gym. I think there is this weird stigma where people that are overweight have to be perfect all the time. They can never just just have a cake. And I agree, it's gorging. I agree, it's not great. Listen, I'm not saying that's great.
That was
Not
too
great.
much.
But I'm saying that this one instance of her doing this amidst all her other ones of her trying to be healthy.
Can I go on the opposite side of that? Like with Lizzo, there's like Eugenia Clooney. She's a very
Yes.
petite, tiny woman. Why are people saying, oh, good job, Lizzo, like good job for eating healthier, but like when Eugenia Clooney's like trying to eat something like
But is Eugenia Cooney allowed to have hashtag body positivity?
she does sometimes. So
Is
she promotes herself literally wearing like tiny
Because we're-
outfits, showing her body.
That was my whole point. Is like these extremes are hijacking it.
Yeah,
I agree.
think,
They're not
like,
good representation.
Yeah,
No.
That like the algorithm, they will push out.
Listen, Ellie, the red woman on the right could run a marathon and not be out of breath. She's legit.
The most extreme cases because they get the most views, and that's what people want to see.
Yes, it's dangerous.
Including
I don't know, she looks a little bit older though. To me, she's promoting old person.
these conversations.
And I don't know how I feel about old people being promoted.
Pretty reasonable. All right, let's reset.
No matter who you are, there's no denying that injuries can really put a damper on your everyday life. Like seriously.
What is this?
I have taken a weight loss drug.
Oh, the one on the right? Oh, the obese one?
Well,
So here's my take, Chad, on the promoting body positivity. The video take with Lizzo eating cake on the screen. Would you say that somebody who is or obese eating a cake in front of the camera and glorifying eating like that, is that on the same spectrum? Is that on the same as somebody going live and promoting getting high and smoking weed and or doing crack and meth in front of the camera? Technically, overindulging and being fat and spreading that. Hello. I mean, because like overindulging, being a fat person like that, definitely cuts your health shorter, right? Like that's not debate. That's not up for debate. You live a shorter life having unhealthy eating habits. Same thing if you're doing drugs and stuff. If you're doing drugs and you're chronically doing drugs, I would assume that you're going to live a shorter life as well. So they're both equally not really healthy for you. They're very bad things. So if somebody goes live and starts smoking weed and or maybe not weed, let's go a little bit harsher. Maybe doing like cocaine or something. Aren't you like kind of promoting a bad stuff as a bigger person and overeating? Isn't that like also kind of, I don't know. How do you guys feel? Is it the same, on par with it, or completely wrong? In my opinion, doing something in front of the camera doesn't force anyone to do it too. If they can't avoid copying bad habits just by seeing them, then that's a personal issue. Well, right now, technically, I would say so. A lot of shit shouldn't be promoted, but it won't change. That's definitely not how marketing works. This is just a video version of video game cause violence. Look, if you say it's bad, it's fine. So, Seer, to tackle what Aladdin said, in my opinion, doing something in front of the camera doesn't force anyone to do it too. If they can't avoid copying bad habits just by seeing them, then that's a personal issue. I mean, that's all fine and dandy. If everything in life, if everybody in this world were a perfect specimen, but unfortunately we're not. And laws are not created around the perfect person. Every law in the existence of ever is with the most stupidest person in mind. Because you can swear up and down that when you drink and you drive, that you're the most perfect drunk driver. But that's not why they made those laws about drinking and driving. They made those laws around the most stupidest person that will cause accidents and fatal crashes and blah, 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 this and the third. Unfortunately, laws are put in place to protect the stupid people. So if there's stupid people, that impressionable people that are watching a fat person glorify eating food in front of a camera and saying, yes, I love my body, just eat one more Whopper today. Yes, like, is that a really good thing to do? Shoving a whole cake in front of the camera and saying it's bad doesn't change the fact that it's a bad impact on people who are easily influenced. I always have a dilemma with that. I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing. Because I agree that people shouldn't be responsible for other people's stupidity. But at some point, some people have to take accountability for something. Especially in today's age, where we can glorify the most stupidest thing, at some point we have to put our foot down. Because then if we have complete total liberty to do whatever we want, you can incite violence and cults and murders and by having a position that has a person in a high position that has a bunch of influence. I know that this is like a big topic, but it's a fat topic, a deeper topic, but yeah, just some food for thought. VTubers banned for setting unrealistic standards. I see people forget the Tide Pod challenge. It's a huge topic. I think it leads to it's just doing it for views. Nick Avocado, people who watch it doing it a hard majority of times to see the person get worse. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's really tough. It's really tough because look, if I get more famous and then I say something bad, I don't want to be responsible for a bunch of dumbasses doing something bad. I'm not your mom. That, you know? So let's say if I was fat and advertising fat positivity and then you wanted to get fat, that's not my fault. I'm not your mom, bitch. I don't want to be responsible for other people. You could be the mother of my children. I'm just saying. Elly, have you considered working out more? Did you just call me fat?
Agreeers, please step forward.
I have taken weight loss drug.
I guess everybody's perfect.
I'm like trying to see like what do we define as drug?
Just
I think we're talking about the
Like
wait,
Ozempic?
I don't even know why people have such a hard understanding of the questions, chat. Why do you need a definition of a weight loss drug?
Pills
Yeah,
or...
wait. Well, any
Like diet pills?
any drug that you've taken.
Yeah, wait, I'll...
Sorry. But yeah, come on in. Let's hear your story, Tim.
I have used weight loss drugs before I knew the power of them in college and
Too much fat
get
in
them
the
over
brain.
the counter,
You guys
but
are
they were
mean. Stop being
incredibly
mean.
strong. Probably needed to be controlled at that time, but I don't know. I was so obsessed with my body size. I've pretty much my whole life, and that's just the culture, American culture that I was raised in and lived in, and so I would try drastic means, and I've done things that would just get you super wired. Even as an adult, once I figured out how to eat, I gained the weight back during the lockdown, like a lot of people did, and I go, gosh darn it, I was so upset, and I took a prescription
All
weight loss
that
drug
trauma
that
and
was
she's
prescribed
still
by
fat?
a doctor, and
Stop being
I was able
mean.
to drop the weight quickly. I used it as a biohack. I used it short term just to get the weight off, because once the weight is off, now it's on you. You have to know how to eat.
So this is more recently.
Yep, and this is absolutely recent.
Was
too.
it like Ozempic, something like that?
Phentermine. You can get it prescribed. It's a controlled substance. It's hardcore, but it takes the thought process out of your mind. That thing, that monster that always tells you you're gonna get your next serotonin kick by that food, and you're hyper focused on eating, and it takes that monster, it stops talking.
Monster?
So now, when the monster stops talking, you go, I can
This
control
bitch is
this.
crazy.
I can make changes in my lifestyle.
She hears monsters.
In order to make healthier decisions to keep the weight off that I just lost with this drug, and yeah.
I was so desperate to lose weight. I was like on TikTok scrolling through, and like they were sharing like, oh, this drug does this and this is that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just blindly buy this thing, and showed up at a horrible time.
Have you guys ever bought any
It was
weight
a pill
loss
that I took,
supplements?
and it really like suppressed my
Any
want
weight
to eat
loss
food.
drugs?
But it also like had some really bad side effects. Like when I would eat,
have.
I would feel sick after.
Yeah, I
and
used to try a bunch of
realized,
shit
like,
with my
I'm feeling
sisters.
horrible all the time, and having this energy low, and like just feeling physically sick.
How long were you on it?
I was on it for 2 months maybe.
Did you lose weight?
I lost some weight, but as soon as I got off of it, I gained all of that weight back.
Yep.
I
You
gained
have
it
to know what to
all
do
back.
once you're there.
Exactly.
What are you gonna do?
Exactly. It was
Yeah.
like the crutch, and like you just relied on it so much, and then once
Elly,
it was
do you
gone,
think
you had to.
Girls aren't raised to value exercise like men are? Yes, absolutely. Men, I think men are expected to get into sports more, to like manly shit, to get out there and get sweaty, to mow the lawn, to work hard. I think men are raised that way more than women. Women are raised to be more dainty, to be more feminine, to be more at least I'm speaking from experience, and from the circles that I run in my culture, that's how it is. Men are more get the fuck out of the house and go and like run track or something, while women are like stay at home and wash dishes, and they don't really tell them to look after their physique, while men are a little bit different. But hold up though, but women do also face something that men probably don't as much as women, which is body shaming. Though men are probably promoted more to get out there and do sports, women are shamed more. Women are shamed more for their bodies. Way more than men. Way more than men. Very early on in elementary school, women are thinking about their bodies. Have you ever done aerobics? No, I've done yoga. If you're fat as a guy, you're gonna be hard, invisible. You're not invisible to nobody if you're fat. Yeah, but in general, I think women are shamed more for their bodies than men. But men are probably told to be more physical and more active.
to do your own thing, and
You have to figure it out.
you have to figure it out. And the pill was doing all that for you. And then for me, I gained more weight than I lost when I was on it.
Let's bring in our disagreeers.
So I've heavily considered taking Ozempic, but I've decided not to because you either have to stay on that drug long term to keep those effects, or if you get off of it, most people are gonna gain the weight back. So I'm no longer interested in anything.
You should.
That
Stop being mean.
is
Stop
not a
being mean,
complete
chat.
Lifestyle change. Like for me, I have learned over the years that I would prefer to be fat and happy than thin and miserable. So like right now, I'm just trying to, eat less processed food.
But what if she automatically assumes that people who are thin are miserable though?
I have learned over the years that I would prefer to be fat and happy than thin and miserable. So like right now, I'm just trying to, eat less.
I guess because she said that because she thinks it's miserable to constantly be taking Ozempic to stay on that weight. So if in case you get off of it, you're going to gain all the weight back. So that I think she's talking about doing dailies, Ozempic dailies, and that's miserable for her. But the added effects of Ozempic though, and your skinniness, is that you probably feel better. You probably have lost like 100 pounds. You probably feel better just by shedding so much weight. That doesn't mean you're going to inherently be miserable.
Processed food, stay away from like sodas.
More
and stuff
energy.
for the most part. But I will never count calories, like,
Why?
or because to me that leads to disordered eating habits.
For you?
For me
For her,
personally,
okay.
yes. I'm not talking for everybody. I'm not talking for everybody, but for me personally, and I do think for a lot of people, it can lead to disordered eating.
Kind of circling back to the topic about taking weight loss drugs. Hell
Ozempic
no.
is
I'm
hella
never taking a
risky.
weight loss drug. I worked really hard for my body, and I'm like a very big believer.
You can
in that
go
phrase,
blind
like,
for
if you
it
wanted
from
to,
it.
you could. Wouldn't you be
I mean,
so much
Ozempic has some
happier
side effects.
if you lost the
Yeah.
weight and you look back on it and it was like, yeah, like I did that.
Exactly.
Like that was 100% all me. I didn't need no help. I didn't need no cheat codes.
The
Like,
overweight women
this
on the
was work
panel
that I
have
put in,
probably
and I
never
got the
tried
results that I wanted.
fasting.
And that was the mindset that I wish that I had before I took the drugs.
Yeah.
Because like I was
I don't think it's possible though. If you're like addicted to food, I think fasting is incredibly hard. Wouldn't that be super hard for like a fat person?
super naive. I was like 18 years old
Right.
and I had no knowledge about anything. And I was looking for a quick fix because all these people were telling me, oh, you need to lose weight, you need to do this. And that was in my own household. So it was my family telling me this.
Yeah, it
along
depends
with
why
my
they're
friends
fat,
and
I
everything
guess.
like that.
It's a lifestyle change ultimately. These are tools that you can utilize, but if you are not changing your lifestyle to go with it, then what will happen for it?
Right.
And so I think that's really ultimately
It
what
would
it
be
is.
bad
you're not
if they
ready to
drop
commit
their
to the lifestyle
calories
change,
intake so
using
suddenly.
These tools, it's not going to help you.
When people do these quote unquote shortcuts, a lot of the time, like mentally, they're not there. So they lose the weight and then they're still like.
Not fixing the problem.
Exactly. It was like, it was this quick fix and now that it's, you know, they get off it, like everything mentally, like that they were at when they were at a bigger weight is still there because
Like-
they didn't put in that mental work, like doing it on their own.
For example,
we gotta reset. So for the next one. I'm getting the signal.
Fit women are more attractive than fat women. Will the agreeers please step
Ooh, chat, are fit women more attractive than fat women? Yes or no, chat? Yeah, I think on average, yes. I say yes. In most cases, yeah. There are those cases though that, you know, a little demon creeps up in the middle of the night, you know, and you're looking at a good torta and you're like, Yeah, sometimes, you know, that torta be looking good, you know, 2 a.m. hits, you know, that fat hit the shadowing, you know, of that fat body kind of makes it look good. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, yes, a fit woman is more attractive. The key word is fit, not skinny. Yeah, but even then, so, right? I think a fit woman is still, for the most part, more attractive.
Step forward.
Are these the disagreeers?
Fit women are more attractive than fat women. Will the agreeers please step forward?
I would definitely agree. Fit women are more attractive than.
Oh shit, the ego on this bitch. Chat, what the? She's a narcissist.
Like plus size women, only because me having this body, it shows that I can commit to something, right? And it shows that I'm hardworking, so I feel like men looking at my body can see, oh, okay, she's dedicated. She put in the work, and that could be an attractive quality that men see in me. I would definitely go for like a more muscular guy. So that kind of shows that we have something in common, something that we can work on together.
So gym dates.
Yeah, gym dates, for sure.
All right, thank you.
Damn, nobody agreed though. That's that shit that women do though. They lie to give themselves false hope.
Bring in the disagreeers.
I feel like I'm gonna get flamed alive right now. It's all good.
I'm bisexual, so I love
girl, me
women.
too.
I love women.
Yes, all the bisexuals.
I think that all women are beautiful. I've had relationship with women that are fit, they are not fit, variety. And I can tell you that personality-wise, the skinniest ones and the most beautiful ones have had a personality that I cannot work with, me personally.
But are we talking about personalities or physical appearance? Like, I think that's a whole different question, right? Because they're talking about fit women. Fit is a visible trait. So this is nothing to do with personality. This should be strictly physical. Why are we talking about personalities here?
Most beautiful ones have had a personality that I cannot work with, me personally, me. So,
Yeah.
And it comes from a place that the way that I grew up, the way that they grew up.
I like how they feel they like to get off topic every question. These women don't understand the assignment. Like, if we're being honest, no, let me not get off topic.
Thoughts, minds. You surround yourself
Let me
with
not
people
be
that
them.
you like that is like you. Your personality has more beauty than the way that you look.
Your physical looks will disappear. My grandma, she used to be a very petite, tiny woman, grew up in the Philippines. My grandpa.
Bro, you know what? Who's to blame here? The only man in this stage. You need to redirect these these women to the right fucking question. Moderate this shit. Nobody's talking about personality. What the fuck are we doing right now?
The same way. Now they're a little bigger, they're more comfortable. 50 years later, still in love.
Yeah.
My grandpa always makes jokes. Like, when I remember growing up, he was like, this is Burger King and this is McDonald's. I'm the king and I'm loving it. And I'm like, that's my grandpa. He showed me, like, you can appreciate a woman
So your grandpa is to blame.
through all the changes, you know? Like,
Exactly.
And that's why I love, like, I could be, once I get skinny, like, my boyfriend can still love me, but maybe he loves me more because how I am personally.
I think people like to be like, oh, it's always going to be the fit woman is more attractive than the plus size woman. I just don't think that's true. Like, there's a lot of beautiful fit women. There's also a lot of not very beautiful ones.
Right.
You know what I mean? To assume that size will always equal more attractive, I just think is like silly. It's a case by case basis.
Because I'm more on the healthy side.
Well, you can be thin and not healthy.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
clear.
exactly.
But the biggest issue I have with what you said, I disagree with you. I think as a fit girl as well, fit girlies, but I still disagree with you because there's beautiful women who are in bigger bodies. Like, I feel like it's an arrogance almost to be like, oh, because I'm fit, I'm more attractive. Like, that's,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And the biggest issue I have was what you said about.
Okay, so I'll now it all makes sense. She hit the nail here. All of these women that didn't step forward to agree feel bad because of arrogance.
Because I'm fit, I'm more attractive. Like, that's.
Yeah.
So they just don't want to be those people that come out and say the truth. This was the only chick that came out and said, yes, fit women are on average more attractive than fat women. She's the only one that didn't give a really a fuck if it came across as arrogant or whatever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And the biggest issue I have was what you said about men being attracted to you more just because you're fit. I think that that's basing your worth on a man. And I'm married, as a married woman saying that, I just don't understand what that has to do with the principle of just physical attractiveness. It has nothing to do with if someone else deems you as attractive. It's like just solely based on the physical. So I 100% disagree with you.
I was debating actually stepping forward because of just
Yeah, they
what
love changing the
society has
goalposts.
taught me my whole life is like thin is more beautiful, thin is more beautiful, thin is more beautiful. And I've really had to work on unlearning that like for so many years. When I was like, 19, 20, I was like, oh, the reason I'm not in a relationship is because I'm fat. Like I need to lose weight and then I'll become in a relationship. Then someone will love me. And I thought that for so
Fit women are
many
100%
years.
more attractive.
And,
Being healthy
like, my
is attractive
self-confidence
for
was,
both
down
men
here.
and women.
And I really had to work on
Yeah, for the most
unlearning
part,
that.
yeah, I
And
agree.
I'm still trying to unlearn that. But like I have learned over the years that people are attracted to different things. So if you ask one person, they're going to tell you, oh, this is what I'm attracted to. And if you ask someone else, they might have a completely different answer. So I think attractiveness is subjective. I think when it comes to society 100% says skinnier is better.
I mean, I hear a lot of what you're saying, but I'm
Look, here, I'm gonna burst a lot of bubbles here. Sure, beauty is subjective to an extent. Beauty is subjective to an extent. I don't think, because a lot of people like to say, yeah, beauty's subjective, blah, 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 blah. But if you put like a 600-pound woman in front of him and she is, and then you put a skinny woman next to the guy, Chad, I don't know about you, but I think that the skinny woman on average would get picked more than the fat woman. And if that's the case, then beauty isn't subjective, right? Everybody keeps hanging on the beauty subjective, beauty subjective, beauty subjective, which I agree to an extent. To an extent, it is subjective. But there is a bit of objectivity there as well, though. There's a bit of objectivity in there. Not all of it is subjective. Not gonna lie, there's only one attractive person sitting there anyways, and that's the one that sat down first and told the truth. The Asian chick, her. You don't like the croissant chick? Croissant chick is kind of hot. I like this chick too with the pink. There's some beautiful women here. He might be too afraid that the big one will eat him. Stop it! Stop being mean. Hello, Tummy Kisses. What did Tummy Kisses say? Let me see. What are you guys arguing about? Chat, is there a fight? They don't know what attractiveness is. 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 9th girls are your type. So 3rd, 4th, 6, 7. And me? Okay, I'll take it. Whoever said 4th and you need Jesus. I mean, well, I mean, you can tell what people are attracted to, right? I often hear my chat shit on me because I find certain guys attractive. And like, that's my subjectivity right there. Different tastes, different strokes for different folks. Could I believe that somebody would find number 4 attractive? Absolutely, yeah. She's not my type. And I personally don't find her attractive, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that somebody would find her attractive. I'm gay as fuck, so any men are trash to me. Yeah, Tummy's a lesbian. Happy Pride Month, Tummy. Yeah, kinks do not count. This is not kink either. Different strokes for different folks, chat. It's different strokes for different folks. And that's what's cool about us as people, is that we can find different things attractive. 1, 3 tops, 1 and 3. I like chubby women. Hello, Panda. Yeah, there's people that like different things. And this is not the kinky way. Yeah, there are chubby chasers who enjoy fatter women just because it's like a kink or a sexual fetish. We're not talking about those. Believe it or not, in your ignorant little brains out there, there are people that find a fatter girl attractive. That's a thing. I had this one guy who swore up and down, he was debating and arguing with me, that I was attracted to guys that had a dad bod. He was like, "You're stupid, Elly. That makes no fucking sense. You're just trying to be nice." I'm like, bro, I fucking love a guy with a hairy asshole and a fat ass booty. Something I can sink my fucking nails in. How the fuck are you gonna sit here and tell me what I'm attracted to? Huh? Bro, what? Like, I like a chunky guy, bro. And he was arguing with me like he knew who I was. Everybody likes something different in life, chat. Okay. With that being said, maybe I'm wrong, but I think most people in the world would find fit women more attractive than fat women, though. Subjectivity does exist, but I think if we're talking about a large scale, time after time, it has been proven that beauty, that skinny and fit is more attractive. Time after time. It just has been proven countless times through entertainment industry, movies, music, anywhere you want to put it. Most of the time, a fit person is chosen over a fat person. What's a primary partner? Just curious. Primary partner, maybe it's in a polyamorous relationship where you have one person that is a bit more. Yeah, my friend likes bigger girls. He says big girls need love too, and I say you're right, but they won't get it from me.
I'm curious, anybody want to share, like, what is the type of body that you're
Casual dreamer
to?
likes a thick chick.
To men, on men, other, or
Well,
the
I don't know.
opposite.
There's people who are attracted to men.
Yeah.
So whether it's men or women, what kind of bodies are you attracted to?
Because I've been smaller and bigger. I am tall. I already am eliminating a majority of people because I'm one taller man than me. But you know what? Somebody on your show, Zach Miko.
Was that the tall guy?
It was the model.
Oh, yeah.
The plus size model? He was
Yes.
Damn, now this is my type of guy, chat. A chunky guy. Like, this is a dad bod, by the way. This is still technically a dad bod, and this is my shit. And some people are like, Elly, would you prefer this body type or Jason Momoa? This guy over Jason Momoa any fucking day of the week. Any day of the week versus a really muscular guy, I choose this fat guy. Yeah, primary partner is the person that I spend most of my time with.
So
unfortunately married.
So it's like I have dated some fantastically gorgeous men, but when I feel most comfortable and myself and I can feel just kind of let it all out is a guy that's has some cushion. Gym people for gym people. And, and that kind of seems like unattainable, not my vibe.
No, I appreciate the specificity. If anyone else wanted.
So I do have a type, but also like I've never dated before. So I'd say
Oh,
like my
sweet
type
summer
goes from,
child.
I like my type goes from like Prince Eric to Fluffy.
Fluffy? Like a furry?
Yes, the comedian Fluffy. I just feel like
The
I could,
comedian.
Like, hug him. Like he would give the best hugs and be like the best person.
It's a very
Like,
wide range.
Yeah, a very wide range of
A lot of them fit into
a lot of infinites to that. But like I don't discriminate against like body type or anything like that.
It's funny because for me as a bisexual woman, like what I like in women versus what I like in men is like very different. So men, I'm very much like you. Like dad bods are kind of like what I'm.
He's
attracted to.
obese?
I don't want
Oh,
someone,
yeah.
like, super
Fluffy
big, but
is
I also
like
don't like super skinny.
tier
or, like,
4,
super,
category
super buff.
4
Like, a little
fatness.
muscle, that's fine, but like the really buff guys, like not my thing. But for women, I like way more different kinds of women, like thin, big, like I don't know. I'm just way more attracted. I think when it comes to
Fluffy is
different kinds of women,
down.
like when I'm swiping on dating apps, like I'll maybe swipe on like 1 in every 20 men, and like women, it's like 1 in 5. Women, I just think overall are much more beautiful than men. Like even,
and we have better profiles. Let's get this.
Yes, that
Hello,
too.
Primal.
All right, let's reset.
Reset.
It's okay for model.
Another question that wasn't answered, by the way. I just want to point out that this whole video, these women have dodged the fucking question like you guys dodge women.
To set a high standard for body image. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Is it okay for models to set a high
I
standard
did
for
some
body
modeling as a
image?
kid and as a teenager and even now as an adult, I did.
What did she say?
I did some modeling as a kid and as a teenager and even now as an adult, I did pinup. There's definitely like a high expectation and standard, especially like in runway modeling and things like that. 'Cause
Hello,
they
Trait Mom.
push out these clothing and they only do it in certain sizes. There's standards that different companies have that they want to push out certain things. So like for pinups, they want you to look a certain way. They want you to do your makeup a certain way. They want you to dress a certain way for that style. And same thing for like Victoria's Secret. They want to promote lingerie, and there's a standard for each company, and they have to live up to that standard based on what they're trying to promote.
And personally for me, I always looked up to thin people. I always found them very beautiful. I was like, I want to be able to look like a Victoria's Secret model one day. It's okay to have a higher standard of beauty because it makes you want to like, oh, I want to work harder on myself to achieve that type of body goal. I might not look exactly like them, like with the hips and everything, but I want to be able to look a healthy version of myself that looks something like that.
I think it's okay for models to have a higher standard of beauty because we are attracted to attractive things. A model is selling something. They're being hired to sell something, and they're going to make it, hey, look at this. Look at the dress I'm wearing. And you as a consumer, you don't want to look
need to
at
tell you
somebody
something.
that is going to go, ugh.
What do you
I
want
don't
to
even
tell
want to
me?
look at that person. What were they selling? I don't know.
Let's bring in our disagreeers. More disagreeers.
Chad,
than
I need to go pee. Watch this.
I
Be right back.
completely disagree. I think we all forgot what modeling industry has done for women in our society. I think we kind of went blank for a second. I'm a journalism major. I have my degree in journalism, and growing up with certain magazines and those women, just because they were thin does not mean they were healthy. Have y'all ever seen America's Next Top Model?
Yes.
There's a lot of detrimental things that were happening within that society, within that community. And I agree with you, yes, we all want to look at something aesthetically pleasing, but that varies. Also, the modeling industry is known for not being diverse.
Right.
Hello? So I don't know, we just like blacked out for a second.
It's very diverse now.
Now.
It was not when I started.
Yeah, but
was
it's
not.
not that diverse now either. It's evolving, but I wouldn't go as far as saying it's that diverse. But I think that it can be very detrimental as a young woman. I think the body positivity movement kind of was created in juxtaposition because of the modeling industry of the 90s and early 2000s, how toxic that was.
I do think we have come a long way, but we still have like much further to go.
The average size of the woman in the United States is a size 16. So why are we not seeing that reflected more on runways and modeling and stuff? You know, I also have issues with it when it comes to a lot of plus size modeling too, because a lot of plus size models, they have the curves, but they have no belly. And that's so unrealistic for most plus size women, where it's like, most plus size women, if you are a size 20 like I am, you're gonna have a stomach.
And most of those photos have been photoshopped.
Yeah, or they even put padding on smaller models to make them look bigger.
The standards keep changing. How many models do they need to show all the different body types that for this to sell one dress?
Sounds like there's a tension between the market. If the data says more
Right.
people clicked on this body, even if it's unrealistic,
Risks.
put that body in the ad.
Yes.
But what you're saying is that's unfair representation of the true customer.
Yeah, exactly. Because then I'll like buy something that I saw on a plus size model who has a flat stomach, and then I put it on, and I'm like, ugh, I hate this because it's clinging to like all the wrong parts. I just want to see something that it doesn't have to look exactly like me.
I think for a long time people thought that diversity in sizes wasn't marketable. Like I can't make money from showing all this diversity of sizes, but I think that there are new brands coming, like Savage X Fenty with Rihanna. She has proven that you can have diverse bodies and you can still market and sell. And
Spartacus, I caught you. Spartacus, thank you so much for gifting to the community, Mr. Spartacus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Busted. You thought you were gonna get away with that.
This is something that I always
Negative.
say.
Thank you so much for gifting to the community. Negative.
But I just think you're so vulnerable when you're thin. Like if you're petite and you're frail and you're not strong enough to fight back, I don't think that's safe for you. I'm a proponent of like building muscle. That way you're sturdy. That way if someone tries to come up on me, they're going to feel something.
Right. I think we should have
sturdy.
Yeah, like it sucks that we're in a society
I think these women are pretty sturdy.
that we do, but we have to.
Yes.
You're prone to danger at any moment. Know some punches, know some locks. I don't know. But
some punches and some locks.
As someone who trains kickboxing, boxing, and Muay Thai, at our facility, like we do offer like women's self-defense classes, and like no matter like what body size you are, I highly recommend every single woman to take at least one class just so you know the basics and just like for your own protection.
Well, I got attacked by a dog once when I was on a walk. Elly came out of this house and it came after me, and I was with a group of friends. Of course, it comes after the big one. Don't get me wrong, but it was scary. I couldn't run away from that problem, but my friends were able to, and that came to my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm not good at cardio. I know what I need to improve more on. You need to be able to carry yourself, pull yourself up, or like, you know, run.
Even for you, for your kids, you know.
Girl.
An emergency, your kid is swallowing something.
If somebody tries to cause harm on me, they just have me. I'm not gonna fight back. I'm gonna just be like, you know, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want some ass? You want some titties? You want this? I'm not gonna fight.
And it got stuck, or you know, everything.
I'm not
around
running. If a dog tries to eat my asshole up,
potential energy. So yeah, definitely everybody work
what
on
you
their own
want?
pace
You
and
want
just make sure that
what
you
piece do you want?
Work on things that are gonna help you and stay safe because it's dangerous.
Not to be an easy target.
Aside from dogs, which has anyone ever been in a situation where they've had to defend themselves?
I can talk about it because it doesn't hurt anymore, but when I was young, I did get molested, and it's fine, I'm over it. I know it wasn't my fault. See, I work with my brain a lot, so for me, I was laying down.
Those are big words. I work with my brain a lot.
And it was more of a like situation where I couldn't move because of everything that was happening around me, and my thoughts were just like, I need to find a way to survive. I need to find a way to push this person from me. And I was 13, so it was like, you know what? Pray. Because there was a cousin sleeping next to me, and I was like, please have her move. Please have her move so I can move. And she did. And as soon as she moved, I found the way to just push him. Like I found the courage to push him off. It came from, I don't know where, but it came. And whatever happened after that. So it is a situation where, as women, we are subject to not just men, but to a lot of people, and where we need to find a way to protect ourselves, and not just us, as we're growing older. Like, we should be showing our children how to and who not to trust, instead of judging them, instead of expecting from them. You should be teaching them to find their way and what works for them, to find a courage to save themselves from whatever is going to be a struggle for them in the future.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for sharing that story.
I have abused my
So
body.
inspirational.
Will the agreeers step forward?
Personally, for me, I've always
I have abused my body.
suffered with anxiety and depression since I was young, having grown up in the best areas. I used to self-harm in different ways. I suffered with like purging and everything, and like actual like physically cutting myself. Sometimes I even tempted to like burn myself. When I look in the mirror, I'm just like, what is wrong with you? And I was 13, 12, and around this time, I did not like the way I look. I'm not happy right now. And like the only thing I have control of, because I don't have money, I can control what I can do to myself. And it wasn't until like I gotten older and I started studying mental health, I started studying like different like ways you can take care of yourself with the resources I had. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not the best at my mind right now. And there's other opportunities I can control those bad thoughts. To let them out.
What were some of the tools that were most helpful to you?
Meditation really was a big thing for me. I loved meditating.
Chad, have you guys
Whenever
ever
I had
meditated?
I call it like noise, like those just thoughts in my head, like just talking.
I
I'm
have.
Like, close your eyes, inhale.
Meditation
exhale,
is
and
nice.
Just breathe. Just find your center and calm yourself. That's really helped me a lot.
Addiction is the disease that tells your brain that the problem is the solution. My biggest addiction was food, and and you get a serotonin kick. Everybody has a vice because that's something cheap and fast. At some point, it's not you're not a victim anymore. Like you actually.
Elly, have you
yourself.
seen a Jubilee,
This lifestyle
Jordan,
of this and
Peterson
up and down
getting
and how I
cooked?
even abused
I seen a
myself,
clip.
how-
It was
how I used to
glorious,
talk to
bro.
myself,
Oh my
You're
god.
not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're
I
not
haven't
thin
seen the
enough.
whole episode. I've
You
seen
know,
clips.
You're never enough. Until I changed the way I spoke to myself, did a change ever happen and maintain.
It was so
abuse my
good,
body a
dude.
lot by being an emotional eater. Like I'm a very emotional person. Actually, I just found out last
Hello,
year that I
Vaseline.
have BPD. Ever since I was a teenager, I have
BPD?
struggled heavily with depression and suicidal thoughts,
that
like,
is-
all the time. Yeah, I have abused my body over the years, and I'm trying.
Borderline
to love myself
personality
more,
disorder.
Take better care
Do
of
it.
myself.
Don't try. Just do it.
Well,
You say that.
it could be both, but I think BPD is borderline personality disorder. I think when people refer to bipolar, it's something else. They just call it bipolar. Yeah, but BPD, I think it's borderline personality disorder.
It can be hard.
Make it easy. Make it easy. Make it easy to speak to
I have
yourself
a
in
bomb
a kind
pussy
way.
disorder.
I just got upset because
Sheesh.
you don't want to be on this. You're a gift.
It's the same
How
thing.
Dare
No, it's not.
you?
Bipolar and bipolar, they're not the same.
Take it, that beautiful gift away. How dare you?
They
You're not
just
allowed to do that
changed
anymore,
the name.
okay? You're here. You have to speak to yourself kindly.
I don't think
Be
so.
nice
Is
to
it? Is it the
yourself.
same?
Your family members, how would they tell somebody else that's speaking to you that way to you? And you do it to yourself, that's not okay.
Am I being
You can
gaslit?
change it. Make a choice.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my gosh,
gotten-
she's getting
it's gotten
emotional.
a lot better over the years. That I'm much kinder to myself, and I wish I could like tell my younger self to like be kinder.
But you can tell her right now.
Oh,
You can
I do,
tell that
yeah.
baby right now. She's good enough and she's meant to be here.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to give you a hug because I relate to your story so much. I was an emotional eater too. I still am an emotional eater. I'm working on it.
What does an emotional eater mean? What does that even mean, chat? Like when you're happy, you eat. When you're sad, you eat. When you're mad, you eat. Like you just eat every time. When you get sad and depressed, you eat a lot. I guess eating when you feel like it. Like a sun eater, you eat emotions.
so much, but like when I was getting bullied in middle school, like I was getting called fat and all these things, and I was literally getting notes handed to me saying that I was like a fat whale. It really
Goddamn!
messed me up, and it made me.
And the interesting thing about that is when she was getting notes about you're a fat whale in school, is that she was homeschooled by her parents.
Attempt suicide a few times, and I was a child. I was 12 years old, and it wasn't until after I attempted and my family found out, because now I don't think that way anymore. That's why I'm such a huge like advocate for mental health and just like.
Imagine,
love yourself.
imagine
you
being
have to love
homeschooled.
yourself in order to change.
And you're getting
things
notes.
that you want to change.
You're a fat whale.
I know you haven't spoke. Can I bring in this?
For the people who came
No,
in,
bipolar
as
disorder,
disagreeers with this
BD, and
prompt,
borderline
what
personality disorder are
what have been
not the
most
same. I knew it.
valuable
Strom
tools
Geld
or
is
resources
just
in your
dog
life
shit.
to not abuse your body?
I
Gaslighting
think
me.
of, like the highest version of myself, and I try to show up as her every single day. When I have dark thoughts or when things are hard, I'm like, okay, the highest version of Alyssa, like she's a baddie, she's disciplined, you know, she loves herself, and I kind of show up as her.
I 100% agree.
Imagine
with that.
getting homeschooled
I'm
and
very
having a
big
crush on your
believer in,
teacher.
like, if you say things out loud and manifest them, then they will come true, because eventually you do end up getting like that mentality switch, right? Like if you wake up and the first thing that you say to yourself, like in the mirror, is like, I'm ugly, you know? That's what you're gonna go about your entire day believing, you know? But maybe like writing something down, like having it like on the mirror and stuff, and starting every morning like smiling and with like positivity, then you'll carry that energy like through the entire day, the entire week, the entire month.
I
and
agree with this
eventually, like,
queen.
the entire life.
Positivity,
have a network
chat.
of people that if you're feeling any kind of emotion or going through anything, having that kind of community to help you figure out how you can go about this without doing some detrimental harm to yourself. I think it's really amazing, and again, a privilege that I was able to have that. And if nothing else, I hope anyone watching this can really see and empathize, and like, you can't just look at someone and be like, oh, they're this and that, or they're lazy, or they don't work hard enough. Like, I think this conversation has just been so illuminating for me, and I hope it's illuminating for everybody.
For me, also, just adding to like what helped me get out of the depression that I had was, I sat down and I cried. I would cry in my room and acknowledge the things that I needed to change, even though it was going to cost me. And I had supporters like my family. My sister's my biggest supporter. I love you with all my heart. And you really need to work on yourself. Make a better choice. Change your body if it's necessary. If you can.
Change your
But
body.
be healthy, because we're not getting any better. This world is just gonna get harder. So we need to be healthy and prepared for whatever we need to do. You know. So,
Those are some
work
strong
out,
words.
Safely, and you know, everybody, we hope you're healthy for like the longest time, cause man.
I definitely agree with like letting out a good cry, because I was an
Yeah,
emotional eater.
I cried a lot.
I was such an emotional eater. Like I held all of my emotions in, and what I would do is I would eat instead of letting that emotion out and recognizing the emotion. And it wasn't until like I let out that cry, I reached out to the people.
Yeah, you
and
reach out for help.
You reach out to the people that you trust and you feel the safest with.
Chat.
And I did that. That I started to realize.
If
like,
I feel
oh,
like eating in the middle of the
I
night,
need
can
to
I
change
reach
this.
out to you?
It isn't healthy to go to the food instead of going to the people.
I
You
ate
gotta go
at
to your
2 a.m. last
I agree
night,
with that.
Chad.
The day after my mom passed,
I was
came
really
back,
craving some noodles.
I took a plane back to California to be
And
with
I
my
ate at
family
2
while she was
a.m..
in her coma. And that day, I was just like, you know
I'ma
what?
get fat.
My mom's gone. I want to be gone. You know, and the only person I really trust and love and care for and adore is my grandma. She is my rock. And I remember looking at her like, we got home, I'm like, Grandma, I'm done. This is it. And she told me, and this is the only thing that keeps me going till this day.
Chad, I don't like
moment you're
watching
gone-
people get emotional. Chad, we're done with this episode. I'm not gonna watch a bunch of bitches cry. I'm too much of a psychopath, bro. I can't. I'm a sociopath. I can't. I just don't relate. I can't watch people cry. I just don't get that emotion. I don't get these emotions. You know, that's how you know that I am not fat, chat. Is that I am not an emotional eater. I can't be fat. I don't have emotions. So I can't eat. Because I'm not an emotional eater. I don't have emotions. Literally the same. Yeah, I don't like watching because I don't know my reaction. What am I supposed to feel when I see like a
For the vulnerability and for sharing your opinions.
When I
through the
see
discussion.
I'm ready. I'm ready to just end it.
When I see this, I just look like I'm lost because I can't relate. I don't know how to act, bro. People cry in front of me and I'm like, oh, damn, dude. That must be tough. Maybe I do have Asperger's. Ugh. You're still here. Well, I guess just hit that subscribe button, yeah? Come on. Don't make me say it again. Please?